The Mizoram Legislative Assembly has passed the Mizo Marriage and Inheritance of Property Amendment Bill 2026, introduced by Chief Minister Pulel Duoma, who also holds the law and judicial portfolio. The amendment has triggered widespread discussion across the state, particularly on issues of identity, tradition, and gender rights. The government says the objective of the law is to protect Mizo customary practices while updating certain provisions to meet present-day realities. One of the most visible changes is the removal of the word divorce from the title of the act. The earlier law was known as the Mizo Marriage, Divorce and Inheritance of Property Act. According to the Chief Minister, many Christians believe marriage is a lifelong covenant. For that reason, the word divorce has been removed from the title, although divorce provisions remain within the law. The bill also introduces stricter safeguards around divorce and remarriage. Anyone wishing to remarry must now obtain a formal legal divorce certificate. In the past, some relied on only church-issued remarriage permission. The government says legal clarity is necessary to prevent misuse and avoid cases of polygamy. There are also new protections. In case of divorce, women are now entitled to claim up to 50% of property acquired during the marriage, along with retaining their original belongings. The government says this form is meant to prevent property forfeiture practices known locally as sumtswa. Culturally, the term marriage price has been replaced by the traditional expression manle mual, reflecting an effort to preserve cultural heritage while respecting and valuing women, rather than reducing their role to a transactional context. However, the most debated issue has centered on remarks made by the Chief Minister during discussion of the bill. He stated that if a Mizo woman marries a non-Mizo man, she would lose all her Mizo status and her children will not be entitled to tribal status. On the other hand, he said, if a Mizo man marries a non-Mizo woman, the family would remain covered under the act and the children would retain Mizo status. These remarks have sparked sharp reactions. Supporters argue that such a principle protects traditional lineage and identity. Critics, however, say it raises serious concerns about gender equality. Importantly, the text of the amendment bill itself does not contain any explicit provision stating that a Mizo woman loses her identity upon marrying a non-Mizo, nor does it directly legislate on tribal status determination. The current debate therefore revolves around what was stated during the assembly discussion versus what is actually written into the law. Moving on to administrative updates, the assembly also heard strong remarks about employment discipline. DP and AR Minister Puke Sabdanga revealed that 37 government employees were penalized for hiring substitutes to work in their place. 29 of them lost their jobs. The government says this sends a clear message that proxy employment will not be tolerated. On recruitment and administration, there are currently 251 Mizoram civil service posts, with 39 vacancies. Most of these are in the junior grade. The government plans to fill the positions gradually to strengthen governance. Language has also become a key focus. The government has decided to prioritize Mizo-speaking officers for the role of district magistrate or the deputy commissioner. Officials who do not know or refuse to learn the local language may no longer be posted in district leadership roles. The move is aimed at improving communication between administration and citizens. Promotion and regularization of staff were also highlighted. Since the ZPM government came to power, more than 2,600 employees have been promoted. 32 employees working under Central Sector Scheme have also been regularized under revised and more flexible guidelines. Now let us look at the financial picture of the state. Chief Minister Pulel Duoma clarified his earlier promise about maintaining a no-debt approach. He explained that the commitment refers to a clear committed liabilities rather than avoiding all loans. These liabilities have been building since 2018 and the government hopes to clear them within 3 years. So far, payments include Rupees 1,287 lakh cleared in Public Works Department debts, Rupees 4,842 lakh in Public Health Engineering, and Rupees 182 lakh in Power and Electricity. The state has also paid Rs 8,169 lakh in inherited power bills. The Chief Minister said reducing these financial burdens is necessary to stabilize Mizoram's economy. There was also positive news from the Finance Commission. Mizoram is among only 9 states in India to receive an increased share of tax devolution under the 16th Finance Commission. In the northeast, only Assam and Mizoram saw this rise, which the government sees as a sign of growing financial confidence. Beyond the assembly, several social initiatives are shaping daily life across the state. The Central Young Mizo Association has launched a large-scale anti-drug campaign in Aizawl. The city has been divided into 10 zones, each with its own anti-drug squad. The association has provided 10,000 rupees to every zone to begin operations. The campaign reflects rising concerns about substance abuse and the need for community action. In the transport sector, Minister Pvt reported that vehicle-related revenue crossed Rs 48 crore by December. He praised the success of the 2019 vehicle outsourcing policy and announced plans for an online taxi booking system. Two-wheeler taxi permits will also be expanded to 24 towns and districts, which could create new job opportunities. Public health officials are also raising alarms about tobacco use. At a workshop in Siaha focused on Prohibition of Electronic Cigarettes Act 2019, speakers noted that Mizoram ranked second in India for tobacco consumption, with about 58% of the population using tobacco products. Authorities say stronger awareness and enforcement will be needed to tackle the issue. In Longklai, efforts are underway to speed up free gas connections under the PM-UY Ujwala scheme. The District Consumer Protection Association met with Khuma Gas Agency to address delays. So far, only 272 families have received connections, while about 500 applications are still pending. The goal is to ensure low-income households have access to clean cooking fuel. Meanwhile, Mizoram State Election Commissioner Dr. H. Lalthanglyana made a strong case at a roundtable conference in New Delhi. He said electoral rolls prepared by the Election Commission of India cannot simply be applied to Mizoram's village councils. According to him, the state's unique constitutional status under the 6th Schedule and Article 371G requires a different approach, since village councils function differently from panchayats in other parts of India. And finally, an initiative focused on inclusion. A basic Indian Sign Language training program has begun at Gilit Special School in Aizawl. The training aims to bridge communication gaps for the deaf and mute community. Organizers highlighted that the sign language is an official language of India with its own grammar, and learning it can help build a more inclusive society. That is all for now. Thank you for watching. Stay informed and stay safe.